take a look at what happens when the landlord doesn't make a preset hole. There was no preset holes there. He just screwed it straight in without making preset holes on all of them. So what happened is it split. It split from the weight right here, as you can see. Now, the landlord will blame me, so let's look at a different door and see if the same thing is going on. Okay, there's the same thing going on here. Yes, it's splitting. You see how the wood is splitting? That's because there's no pilot holes, and the person that hung these doors didn't do a good job. Because you can see cracks starting on both sides. You can see the cracks on those doors. You see them? So after that weight is done for a while, you're going to end up with this. You see the crack? You see that? And the landlord will blame me because his asshole handyman don't know how to hang a door. And then when this fell off, as you can see, the crack went up. And it pulled on this because this was hanging over the edge. This was like that. So it wasn't even flush. It wasn't flush at all, as you can see. So that fell up. And just look at this job. It doesn't line up. It had to get moved higher up just to close. The doors wouldn't close when we moved in. And we asked them to please let our doors close. And they refused to allow us to have doors that close. We spent over 4 years asking the landlord to please let us close our doors. These aren't aligned right. Please fix the doors so we can close them. After 4 years of asking, I had to just move it a little higher. And I did a temporary glue one. I didn't want to screw anything in there. So I just put a peg, and there already was a bunch of holes and crap there. But this was not lined up. There was no way to close the door for 4 years. The fucking landlord, his fucking handyman haven't done shit. You want to see how they paint? Let's take a look at their painting jobs. Oh, great job painting, huh? His handymen sure know how to paint. Yeah, look at those fuckers, how they know how to paint. Oh, yeah, look at how they fucking paint. Oh, what a great job painting. Oh, look at that. No tape. They don't know how to fucking do their jobs at all. They don't even know how to use painter's tape? Are you telling me these fucking assholes don't even know how to use painter's tape? Well, let's see what else they're responsible for. Oh, that's right. They did the plumbing. I had complained about a plumbing leak that's been going on 6 years. I had this tile slam on my head because when they run one shower upstairs, you get a small dry spot. But when they run two, it gets a big flood, and mold likes to grow up there. So let's see, did it come back? It's only been 2 weeks, and they've given me 3 new tiles saying that the leak was stopped. Did they stop it? Oh, no, that's a brand new tile. Leak wasn't stopped. If you've seen my video, you would know. Did they fix this leak? Oh, no, that was going on just last night with the rain. Did they fix this doorknob? No. Did they fix the hole in the door that I asked them? Because when we first moved in, there was another door to the left of my front door. Oh, nope, it's still there. Yep, when we moved in, this was here, and they still left it there. That's because they want to blame it on us. Okay, how about this? Did he reimburse me for the new locks that I had to go out and buy? When I moved up here, apparently the 84-year-old that was living here was going without a doorknob for 3 months because the landlord just didn't want to give him a doorknob. So the man had an open door with no doorknob for 3 months just because the landlord gave him a joke 2 halves just from a junk bin. He gave him 2 unmatching halves from a junk bin and called it, okay, there you go. I mean, just look at some of these doorknobs, how crappy they are. Just take a look at this one. It doesn't even work. That's, again, 2 other halves. There's a gold one on the other side. He used 2 other halves and threw them together. And that's what he did for this front door. He gave us 2 junked halves and called it, oh, good. Even though they didn't even go in the door. They wouldn't close, the doorknob wouldn't work. And so I got a call that David was now 3 months in debt because of Raymond Hill wasn't paying his rent. David had a whole place falling apart, and the landlord wanted to suck him full of money. And David was scared because he didn't know what to do because he was in almost He was 78 at the time, or 77. And of course, Mark Harrington, the person that brought David into this apartment, is friends with the landlord. So it was all just a setup. They took the two most junky type people. They took a 77-year-old David, and they took a guy living in the truck. He definitely was an addict. He definitely was a junkie, that Raymond Hill. And they moved him in here knowing something would go wrong, and then the landlord could blame all these damages on David or Raymond Hill. But see, this is the problem. Neither of them signed a lease, and then Raymond Hill bounced to Wells. So what happened? I got a call. David wanted me to fix it because I'm the only real friend he has. His other friend, Mark Harrington, is setting him up. And how do we know Mark Harrington is really not David's friend? Because he's in court against David, writing letters to the landlord, trying to get David to give the landlord money. Yes, they want David, a retired 84-year-old who's living on the edge of financial security, a rich business owner that owns 4 businesses, Mark Harrington, who owns Harrington Moving, Burke, Wood Brothers, a bunch of companies like that, and another business owner who owns more than 100 properties, and he lives in a beach house in Algonquin. His business's name is Greystone of Maine, and he's Robert DeBerto, and they know each other, and they have employees that are married. Lisa works for Harrington Moving and Burke. Meanwhile, Darren is the maintenance man, the handyman, who's responsible for all this bullshit in this building. And he works for Greystone of Maine. And these two are trading off people. They're making side deals behind the scenes. They're setting up 84-year-olds to go down with the ship. You know, the landlord has an apartment that would cost 10 grand to fix up and re-rent. So they rent it to some dumbass who's in his 70s who doesn't know how much of a danger he was just put in by his so-called friend, Mark Harrington. But see, Mark Harrington just needs a fall guy for his friend Bob. That's all he wants. He just wants a fall guy. So he takes David Ganji from Lowell, Massachusetts, puts him in a closet in a business, just a walk-in closet, just has David living in a walk-in closet, and then he moves him into this shitty-ass apartment that's falling apart and is illegal and is not allowed to be rented out. But see, David isn't smart enough to even take pictures. So 3 months later, 4 months later, I come up here. And then I move in about a month and a half after I sign a lease. So this apartment was already being rented out by those two. David was